meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to Burning Metal Shooting the Breeze, episode 19. In this episode, I'm joined by Pain in Vain. How are things, lads?
Great, thanks for having us.
All good.
Yeah.
No bother at all. And you're also in another band called Infectious as well, too. That's still in the back burner, but Pain in Vain is the kind of the main band at the moment now, yeah?
That's the one, yeah.
That's it.
So, you've got 2014 the band formed, and you've been kept going since, which is quite good, like for a local band, like, you know.
Yeah, it's a long time now. Yeah, I started back in the day myself with a former guitarist, Jake Black, who we parted ways with in 2019.
Well, look, that's kind of the thing with bands anyway. Members will always come and go. Life kind of gets in the way, you know. You'll have kids come along, relationships.
Sure. It was a mutual thing, and I'm still keeping the legacy going with it's still the majority of the same lineup, so it's still happy days. You know what I mean?
And you have a new album in the works too. Is that correct? Or is it an EP? I know you're recording.
Yeah, something like that. So basically, the last year or two during lockdown, we've been demoing new music in anticipation of the next release. We're still kind of deciding if we want to go for an EP or an album. Just because we have so much stuff demoed, I think we have maybe just short of 25 songs demoed. So, you know, it's a lot of material. We're just kind of figuring out what the next record is going to sound like and how we're going to work with it. But I think we're going to try expand a bit more, but keep the same signature sound we always have done. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, you kind of made your name sound the way you have. Like if you change up too much, you kind of might alienate some people.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, you know.
How would you describe your music, actually?
I guess me and Mark could answer this question both. So personally, I mean, starting off back in the day, it was extremely influenced by bands like Darkest Hour, Bring Me the Horizon, the Black Dahlia Murder, stuff like that. So very like kind of old school metalcore, but it's kind of like a blend of old school metalcore with more modern metal genres. So like it would kind of have the same touch and feel as iconic bands like the Black Dahlia Murder, but would also blend its own contemporary mix into it, if you know what I mean. So it a bit of a melodic touch. How would you describe it, Mark, yourself?
Yeah, no, as you said, definitely. Personally, I'd say more melodic myself, anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's the direction we're definitely keeping it going, anyway.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, Black Dahlia Murder. I was supposed to see them there last year, and we had to pull out of Bloodstock. I would love to have seen them. I've never seen that band, and it would have been great.
They're a brilliant band. I love them. I saw them at the Voodoo Lounge there a few years back. They're really good.
Yeah, they're reconfirmed for Bloodstock next year, so I'll be there anyway, and I'll get to see them again. So I'll ever get it for the first time, should I say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Will you be taking part in the Metal of the Masses, actually?
Yeah, we will. We will be. Yeah. We applied for it there 2 months ago, and we were told that we'll be taking part in it, but they're still kind of figuring out the nuts and bolts of everything with the restrictions, if you know what I mean. So that's all I can really say about that at the moment, Bo.
Of course.
So, but definitely look forward to that.
Anyway.
Yeah, like we've played Metal to the Masses twice now. I think I remember back. Excuse me. I remember back in the day we were actually too young to play Metal to the Masses. That was really funny. Back 6 years ago. Well, it's ages now, but yeah, I remember. So when I started with the band, I was 17, and so was Jake. And by the time Metal to the Masses came around, in 2016, like I was 19, but like I think our drummer at the time was like 17 or 16 or something, so we couldn't take part. Then the following year, we got some new guys in, And I remember our bass player, Kenneth, he had just turned 18, like 2 months before Metal to the Masses was to take place. And I was just like, will you get your bloody ID in check for the gig? And he was like, yeah, I'll do it now. And it was just, just reflecting on like, how fast time goes by, you know what I mean? But it's a great event to be taking part in, great for networking, always great cracking bands at it, you know what I mean?
If you think time goes by fast, wait till you get to my fucking age, man.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, of course, yeah. Nah,
I used to have lovely fucking
we're all
black
on
hair.
we're all on the same boat.
Yeah, the beard is gone. It's gone too fucking grey now, man. I have to keep it off now. It's getting too bad. Like I'm gone full fucking old school now. But of course, what's the story with Infectious? Like you said that you're still a thing, but what is it kind of in the back burner, or is it just something you're going to be maybe looking at doing something with again, or?
Yeah, so pretty much we had a lineup change in summer. It wasn't anything sinister or bad or anything like that. Pretty much the guys they started up their new project on Maker, and like they're just like, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna roll with this one. And then the drummer we started Infectious with said, if you guys want to keep Infectious going, go for it. And we thought about it for a week or two, and we were like, well, there's some great songs in this discography and art. Well, if you don't love your own songs, then you're a liar, because you write the music you love. So we're like, these are some great songs. We're not gonna leave these behind. Like, what's the point in that? So pretty much we're just taking, it's not a hiatus, but we're just kind of like taking a little bit of time to reorientate the band and stuff like that, and get some new guys in to keep it going. And that's just what we feel is best with that,
What's your thoughts on that, Mark? You're in that band as well, too, aren't you?
Mark,
yeah, no, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Mark is kind of Infectious's baby, to be honest. Like, it's my baby too, but I'm like the stepdad, if that makes sense. I'm just like,
oh, so you started Infectious, Mark, yeah?
Yeah, well, myself and Mikey, it was in college. We were starting our second year of music, and we're kind of like, well, neither of us were in a band, so we're like, hey, why don't we start something? And we're like, yeah, sure, why not? And that's where we met Jake as well on the drums, and we just started it then, and it's good crack. Mikey was playing bass back then as well. But yeah, when we left then, we just had to seek another bass player. But yeah, at the moment, we just don't want to rush into things just for the sake of it, just to keep it going. It is still going. We had songs, we have more songs, lots more ideas, definitely. But I just want to do it right, Don't want to just, I said, do it just for the sake of doing it.
I'm sure, but the way everything was the last few years anyway, it's kind of back to square one for a lot of bands now anyway, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And now with the challenge of social media restrictions, it's going to be kind of hard too to get the name out, because everything has changed in the last 12, 18 months. Yeah,
it's definitely been a lot to adapt to, you know what I mean? It's definitely a challenge for everyone involved in the music industry. There's not much more to be said about it. It's just a shame with the restrictions from the pandemic. So I guess it just goes back to, everyone is probably writing the best music they can in preparation of when stuff does come back. So, it did come back there for a while, but hopefully it stays this time when it does come back,
Oh, well, it will. And I reckon you're lucky you didn't release anything 2019 plus, because it no way of promoting it. Like, it'd just be forgotten. Like,
yeah. No, when we released the Immolation, we got to play a few gigs off it, which was really good. We played the album launch there in the Academy too, which is really cool. Played with Metal to the Masses, and we actually opened for Conjurer as well from the UK. Yeah, they're a really good band.
Jeez, they're getting really fucking big. I've seen them for the first time with Damnation and Bloodstock as well. Actually, they are very, very good.
No, I was just in Fibbers last night, and I was just leaving the Jacks, and I saw a fella in a Conjurer hoodie. I was like, I opened for that band. That's cool.
Yeah, they really are on the road to bigger things now, aren't they?
Yeah, from the looks of it, they're playing Download and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the UK, man, is a totally different fucking beast from Ireland. The Irish scene, they're just so supportive of their own over there. I don't get the mentality difference.
Yeah, it's odd. Yeah, from what I've seen, definitely myself, I don't get it. Yeah, as you said, they're just so much more supportive over there than what people are here, and like they are very supportive here, but it's just
Oh
on
yeah,
another level, I think, over there. Yeah,
it is. And look at like Manorfest has come from nowhere, and fucking there's like VIPs and camper van tickets and everything are sold out weeks and weeks ago. Brand new festival, like in Ireland, you'd be fucking nearly sweating fucking tears until the last second in the hope that you get to cross the number, like. And people are flying out of the fucking. It's great to see, like, because they've got a very strong English lineup. There are a few main headliners, of course, but the majority of the bands are English based, like. And fucking Bloodstock, 20 odd thousand people at it, all English bands. Stage is packed.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, I suppose there is like a bit more I guess there's a bit more support in the UK for like their own local scene in some places, more than likely. It is a bit touch and go with the Irish scene at times, and that's just me speaking generally. That's not me like trying to pigeonhole anyone or anything. But so as a walk, I suppose with Irish music and events, it's just more of a walk-in culture, you know. You walk in, you come in for a pint, and if the band's there, then happy days. And but it's hard to like get it can be hard to engage the Irish scene for like pre-sale tickets, like bringing them downstairs fibbers into a basement. You know what I mean? So I guess it's just about, as a promoter, learning how to engage your audience and adapt to that, and get them involved and excited about the gigs that are happening. Because you know, like if you can't excite your audience about a gig, why should they be excited? You know, so it's about really getting them engaged and stuff.
Oh yeah, you just have to get out into people's faces, don't you?
Yeah. Just about putting on the best bands possible, like, and you know, best bands doesn't always mean like how big they are or how small they are. It's just about you know, if you believe in a band, if you think they have potential and you think that they're going to resonate with a certain audience and it's going to be a great gig, you know, why not? You know, just give them a shot. Of course, why not? You know.
Yeah, I noticed that with your own promotions company, like you do kind of mainly kind of promote underground Irish bands, but you were kind of starting to get into bigger things there for a while, weren't you? You were teaming up with Demented Promotions and a few others.
Yeah. I'm actually still sorry, it's just the missus in the background. I'm still very close with Demented Promotions. Like, we still do talk about gigs in the future. Like, of course, over the pandemic, you would get a few offers in the mail about touring bands that might want to come over, and you know, seeing the likelihood of it happening. But it's not that there's been a decline on offers at all. It's just with the pandemic, it's too inconsistent right now to put on these bands. You know what I mean? So like, I'd get offers for a band from, say, America or England or something, and they'd say, "What's the story over in Ireland?" And we all know what the story is in Ireland. There's nothing happening. Yeah. So I just have to reply something like, you know, it's great to be in touch with you, but right now the scene is out in the water. Dead. Like, you know, it's dead right now. So I'll have to shoot you some mail back when things are opened up again, you know? So, so I guess at the moment, I just feel like, it's good to kind of touch base and really support the local bands who may not get as many gig offers as, say, Conjurer, for example, you know what I mean? So it's nice to like give back to the bands that would go out of their way to help you if you wanted them to open up for a bigger band, you know. So I really like the idea of like the kind of community about it, like supporting each other, because everyone's in the same boat at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So it's just about supporting each other and having each other's backs, in my opinion, as well. I think is a good perspective.
And of course, Payne and Bain played a gig there recently. How did that feel?
Oh, it's deadly. Yeah. How did you feel about it, Mark?
Yeah, it's good to be back. All right, definitely good to be back.
Yeah.
It's good.
It was an early gig. It was with Dream Awake, Archives, and Neon Empire, and we've actually played with Dream Awake back in the day, which was really cool. So it was good to play with them again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Archives too. They're a new enough band.
Yeah, I only heard of them recently.
Yeah. They've been playing a while though as musicians. That's the cool thing about it.
Mm-hmm. The Metal Cell podcast is where I found out about them. They really hyped them up, like.
But yeah, no, it was just great to get back on stage. It was a brilliant feeling. We played stuff off of like Leave Me back 6 years ago, the record from a few years ago too, Immolation. The crowd that was there really enjoyed the new and the old tunes, newer tunes. It was great to play with the bands, it was good crack all together. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing Metal to the Masses soon enough as well. You look forward to that, Mark?
Oh, absolutely. Again, the more gigs, the better.
Yeah, of course.
Again, you just miss it. You really do. Yeah.
Well, sure, even with Metal to the Masses, even if you don't go all the way, you get great coverage and PR from the Overdrive boys, like Down the Barrel and all the rest. Like they really, really push it out. Like,
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, definitely. We played it a few times there, and the snaps that Steve would get are phenomenal. You know what I mean? And Oren's a great guy too. He really pushes. He pushes out the scene and stuff, and he really raises awareness about upcoming bands, which is really cool. Yeah, like we're just happy to play it at all. I know that sounds kind of weird when you say that way, but what I mean by that is we're just happy to take part, to be there, because like as a band who's been obviously at the hands of a pandemic, we're just happy to network and to talk to everyone again and to just have the crack. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if we went up to like say Heat, whatever, but that's a bonus in my opinion. So
well, at the end of the day, you are a band. Like you want to play live, like that's kind of why you do it. Like
yeah, of course, yeah. Like I feel like if you go in with the mindset like, oh, if I don't win, I'm going to be a sore loser about it, then it's not going to be as much crack as it. It's not going to be as fun. So just don't take yourself too seriously. Have a good time. You know what I mean?
And I've noticed that I was involved in the Metal to the Masses as a guest judge back in the day, 2014. Now, actually, Christ, that's that long ago. Fucking hell. And I did notice the bands that reacted negatively to things not going their way. It didn't shine well on them. Like,
oh, has that happened before?
It has, yeah, it had. There was one band I won't name them, but there was another night I was there. I was just there because I was there, and while the judges were talking, I went over to the lads for a second. Just I don't know why I went over. I haven't a fucking clue. And I was walking off, and some lad cornered me and started fucking abusing the fuck out of me and saying, "This is fake, and this is rigged, and we knew this would happen." I was like, dude, I'm not involved. I'm here supporting. You didn't get through. Like, it happens. Like, they're up against Dead Label anyway that night. So that was the standard. It was like the final that year was Psychosis, Dead Label, fucking, who else was there? Jeez, Asect were there. Who else? It was it was a fucking absolute heavyweight.
If you're competing with that label though, I'm not trying to sound bad, but like that's tough competition.
Like when you're up against the level of talent that year was the strongest I think the Metal to the Masses has been. Like when I felt sorry for Simon Hall trying to pick a winner in the final, and Dead Label didn't even win that final. Like it was fucking Psychosis that won it.
Yeah, both great bands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember I booked Dead Label for Fibbers. That was a great show. Me and Mark actually opened for them in Infectious at the time. That was really cool. I'd love
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get them down again. Hopefully have Pain and Vein open. Who knows? Fingers crossed. You know what I mean? Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd say they'll be very open to gig offers now. I'd say they're mad to get back at it again. Like, 'cause they've got Wacken already coming up for next year, and Donington, like fucking, or Download as
Yeah.
it's called now, should I say?
Yeah, great band. Yes, that was. Can't believe that's nearly 3 years ago now. That is mad.
Yeah.
That was only 2019 as well. Yeah. But
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But it's a great time, I think, in a lot of regards for Irish acts now at the minute, potentially, because with tours for the first half of the year been kind of looking like they're 50-50 with all the restrictions over various countries. With the Irish scene got a bit of a prop up now at the start of next month. It could have a few months there just to try and go up and leave nothing. I'll try and draw more people in because there's nothing else happening,
yeah, of course, yeah. So hopefully,
hopefully, yeah.
things go well soon enough. Hopefully restrictions ease and all that.
I can't see why they won't, to be honest.
Yeah,
Can't
sure.
see, yeah, I can't see why they won't, but exactly, yeah, you just don't know what's going to happen exactly. So just fingers crossed on it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just you have to just wait
Be prepared
and
as well,
see
yeah.
it to actually happen. I remember back October 22nd, the first gig that happened since the pandemic. It was I know Psychosis were playing, I think. I know Crossfire were definitely playing.
Yeah, Psychosis, Crossfire,
Saint
Saint
Slaughter.
Slaughter, and Snowblind.
Yeah, that was a brilliant gig. I forget who was headlining though. But I know that they're Psychosis were. Yeah, that was a brilliant gig. I just went in and the air was so different. It was just like it's happening again. Do you know what I mean? I remember I was at the bar and there's this fella there beside me and I was like, it's just like, do I socialize now? I haven't done this like in a year and a half. I was like, how you doing? He was like, hi. And I was like, so this is different, isn't it? And he was like, yeah. And yeah, it's just mental. But hopefully we can get that same experience again soon,
So Mark, what did your thoughts of the whole first things back and getting around people again? How was that for you?
Yeah, no, it was, yeah, it felt a bit strange, all right, because you haven't been doing it for so long, definitely not. But yeah, I think also at the same time, very quickly, it just felt a bit normal again, nice to be like that. And it's weird, though, because, yeah, it was over so quick as well, it's almost like a blur, yeah. And then the next day, it felt like it was already so long ago, need to keep it going. But yeah, it was weird in the beginning, yeah. As Mikey said, it's like, what do I do now? Like, can I go here? Can I go there? But
no, you still feel like that sometimes, just walking around, like even before the pandemic, like naturally I'm a hugger, like I hug people. And now when I walk up to meet someone, I'm just like, do I fist bump you or to give you a hug? Like, what do I do? Like you literally have to say beforehand, like, do you fist bump? Like, what do you do? I don't know. Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. Am I it's YouTube? You're allowed to curse, right?
Oh yeah, it's like you just go up to people and it's like fucking mime time, fucking awkwardness. Like, do I go any further or what do I do? Like, And you're saying there about going back into crowds. Like, I remember, like the first day of Bloodstock, it was a big tent, the Sophie Lancaster tent. Went in for the first band, stayed for 2 songs, had to fucking get out. The place was just filling up, like, and I was oh no, this is fucking too intense. But I went back up to the campsite and
was that only a few months ago, was it?
These boys with me, so I fucking started into them and went back down for Raids by Owls later on, and there was just yeah, it's back again. It's back. It's all back to normal.
Was that Bloodstock only a few months ago, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
That looked deadly. That was like one of the first gigs around this side of the globe that happened, wasn't it? First metal gigs.
First festival since 2019, dude.
Yeah. I remember seeing that. I was like, I'm jealous. Wish I was at that.
If you think you're going to make you more jealous, so Devin Townsend headlined the Saturday or Friday and played a best of set.
No.
the best of.
Yeah, I played all the strapping young, not all the strapping young lad stuff, but some of it, like, you know, Kingdom and all the rest. It's just fucking unreal, man. You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So, and on that note, what bands would you really like to fucking? I've seen everyone nearly over the years, but are there any bands on your bucket list that you wouldn't mind catching when everything comes back to normal? Like,
one band I've always wanted to see. It might be a bit of a strange choice, but I love this band from America called Elisana. They're kind of like a mix of like, so one of their singers is a big Black Dahlia Murder fan, and then their other singer is a massive pop punk fan. But they somehow mix it, and it just sounds like, and it works, and it just sounds amazing. And in my opinion, and I'd love to see them one day. Just brilliant band in my opinion. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, I know the last 2 years, obviously, found a lot more bands, you know, that I've never heard of before that have been out for years, and I'm like, geez, how did I never hear these? But two that really stood out for me, and I just can't stop listening to, Sylosis and Fit for an Autopsy, and like, yeah, holy shit, like I have to see them. I really have to see them.
Yeah, Fit for an Autopsy seem to be the next fucking growing band. Like, they've really taken off the last couple of years. Like,
yeah. Oh,
and Sylosis too. Sore, man. Sylosis were supposed to play Bloodstock, but a member tested positive on the fucking day before and had to pull out.
Yeah.
It was a shame. I would have liked that season, but
as I said, and that's what you'd worry about now. Not worry, but yeah, you know, if you're going to a festival or a gig to really see this one specific band, and as I said, yeah, that's the kind of day we're living in now at the moment. It'd be shit luck, but yeah, you'd still stay anyway, definitely.
I remember I saw Sylosis opening for Slipknot, wasn't it? Back 7 years ago. Janie Mac, that's a long time ago now. 2015, yeah. Saw King 810 there as well. That was really cool. They're a bit of a...
Yeah, I missed Sylosis then, actually. I only came in towards the end of King 810's set on that, I remember.
Yeah.
Sure, look, man, you only discovered them now anyway, so I hadn't really missed anything at the time, did you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Yeah.
And they were a lot different back then. They have a new vocalist now and everything, so
yeah.
Their old vocalist was quite good, but it was like a bit. He was quite a quiet vocalist as well, wasn't he? A bit, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure. That's just my opinion.
But Sylosis have had more vocalists over the years. I think they've had 4 at this point.
Oh no, I was talking about King 810. I was talking about
King 810. No.
Yeah, no. Sylosis vocalist, brilliant. Just I remember back in the day, King 810's vocalist was a bit more quiet. He was a bit more quiet of a vocalist. Maybe it's just his style. I don't know. You know.
Well, that's kind of his thing. Like, what I've seen them, they're kind of like they're using the whole Flint thing as the whole Flint, Michigan background story for their influence. Like, Flint is one fucked up place. Like,
they're a brilliant band though. Yeah. No, they're a brilliant band. I was just saying he has a bit of a different vocal style. I was just acknowledging that. You know.
Well, it's kind of more in that they're kind of mixed a lot of hip hop and different genres and stuff into their music. Like, they're not really. I couldn't really pigeonhole the band as anything really. They kind of just do whatever they feel like doing next. Like.
Yeah, this is it. But yeah, they're a great band, great vocalists too.
So the next gig you got coming up is a Virtue, yeah. That's the next one. That's your hope. I can't see why it can't go ahead, but you have booked anyway.
Yeah, so that'll be happening hopefully on the 4th of February. You know, fingers crossed it goes as planned. Pretty much just so I'm a regular booker at Fibbers. Actually, it's probably not something that, well, maybe some people do know, I don't know, but yeah, no, pretty much the date needed to be filled, and I said, well, a Virtue are a great band, so why not get them on? You know what I mean? And should be a great gig. You know, hopefully, the restrictions are over in time by then. Everything goes as planned. You know.
No, that's why I want to talk about this, man. Yeah, I want people to watch this and maybe bands and stuff and know that you're a regular booker in Fibbers, and they know there's somebody there, like, because a lot of bands out there don't know there's regular bookers in these venues. And you're known for giving bands a shot. Like most promoters wouldn't give the bands that you give shots to shots because they'd be thinking about the financial aspect. So that's important for people to know. Like, it could be a young band out there watching this in Cork or fucking Donegal or somewhere. They're like,
Yeah,
hey man,
this is
there's a lad
it.
in Dublin there I can have a chat with, you know?
Yeah, I guess it is good to raise awareness about it. You know, I just like giving bands a shot, regardless of you know, how well known they are, because I think it's all about the music at the end of the day. And if the crowd has a great night, then that's brilliant. You know what I mean? If the band has a good time, you know, why not? But yeah, no, I guess quite a few people will be surprised though when I do say, yeah, I put on gigs in Fibbers. They'd be like, you put on gigs? So, yeah. I remember I was setting up a gig, and this person came up and they said, do you need a hand with the chairs or anything? I was like, no, I'm grand. And she said to me, did you just do the whole gig yourself? And I was like, yeah. I was like, really? I was like, no way. And I was like, yeah. I was like, all right, then fair play. And yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah. So that's cool. But
Fibbers is very easy to put a gig on though.
yeah, it's not like I'm setting
Everything
up
is there. Like,
it's not like it's not like I'm setting up Bloodstock single-handedly or anything like that. No. Just I don't know. I guess people, when they see like Facebook pages or promotion pages, they're like, oh, there must be like 20 people organizing this, so, which there probably are sometimes. Then you can be surprised that it's just, you know, your man and his missus, which applies to me. So yeah, it just works, you know.
If you're running a gig in Fibbers and you have two people, you're all right, like, because you've got someone to kind of keep an eye on the stage and stuff, and you got someone to watch the door.
Yeah, so I just like, I hire a door person, just oversee the gig, make sure nothing goes to shit, and that everything goes okay in the end. You kind of have to be on call all the time, or else something does go wrong, and that's not good. So you need to keep an eye on things, you know. I've definitely learned quite a bit about that over the years. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, because it has gone wrong a few times. But it's not all about it's the thing about it is you learn from what's went wrong, and then you do an even fucking better job the next time. And you know, I feel, personally speaking, of my own experience and journey, that I feel I have progressed a lot, and I feel like I'll put on some gigs that definitely have done bands justice, so I'm happy with that. And I'd say many would agree, so, you know, happy days, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you've got your resident booker in Fibbers, so you wouldn't have got it there if you were shit, like.
Of course, yeah.
You know, that kind of says it all, really. Like, Levy wouldn't fucking suffer you if you thought you weren't up to the task, like.
Yeah. I guess if we're talking about being in a promoter role, personally speaking, I try to separate, you know, so, you know, the way everyone has a music taste and they have what they're into, like, personally speaking, you kind of have to separate your personal taste from the night. So let's say I love pop punk music, but let's say I wasn't a pop punk fan, but Levy said to me, all right, we need a pop punk gig downstairs. I'll be like, all right, well, like, I know a great pop punk band. Not my thing. Probably the audience's thing. Will probably go well. They're great lads. Why not? You know what I mean? That's just an example. I love pop punk music as well, but pretty much you kind of have to have a professional outlook on it. You can't like let your personal opinion come in too much with like the bands you're booking or stuff like that. You just got to try have a professional outlook, run things smoothly. You got to be civil with people, you know, stuff like that. But personally, I love all the bands I book. I love all the music I book. I guess what's kind of weird about me is my music taste ranges from, say, Cannibal Corpse to bloody Fall Out Boy. Do you know what I mean? So like, I just have a diverse taste in music. I like to book bands I think deserve the spotlight. And that's all she wrote. That's just how it is. So.
I agree. I know what you're saying on that, though, man. Sure, one minute I could be listening to a Roy Orbison album here, and next thing I could be putting on Cattle Decapitation. Like, it's very important to have especially if you're a musician, to have a wide taste in music, because if you pigeonhole yourself too much, you won't grow.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, it's definitely something I feel like I've learned a lot, and it's definitely a very exciting role to be in. So what to say about it, really,
I'd say yourself, Mark, on different types of bands. Are you a wide taste as well, or?
Yeah, no, definitely am. I was actually quite late myself to rock and roll and metal and everything like that, being honest myself. I started off the old punk rock stuff, and then of course my dad showed me all the old school, Hendrix, as you said, Roy Orbison, all them. And at the time I was like, I don't like this stuff, but the more I got into guitar and stuff, I was like, these are pretty good, yeah. And then one day I seen a song on TV just flicking around. I was like, holy shit, what's this now?
It was Dead Label. You saw them on Skulls.
It was Trivium back in 2005, just when Ascendancy came out. I was like, holy shit, what's this? And that kind of got the ball rolling for me. And that's started asking around a few mates who were into stuff like that in school. And they were saying, oh, check this one out. I'm like, holy shit, this is all great. And yeah.
I remember that now. Like, we kind of miss a band like Trivium coming along again now in the mainstream, because Trivium were like a real gateway band at the time. Like, they really opened doors because they were so young, and young lads were watching these lads playing and were like, holy shit, like, we can do this.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely, absolutely. I don't know about other people, definitely my mentality back then, as you said, they were so young. I was like, holy shit, like, they're amazing, and I suck myself, but I kind of put myself on a downward, stuff like that. But as you said, absolutely, like kids coming out with that sort of music, it's like, holy shit, anyone can do it, just got to work hard at it, really.
They did work hard, but himself and Corey, they come from a very, very rich background, so they were instantly kind of been buying onto tours for 20 grand a piece at the time, like.
Yeah.
So that kind of that helped too, when you've got 20 grand lying around to buy into a tour, like.
Absolutely.
That's the other side of the music business. That's it's a great opportunity if you feel Bob behind you, but would you actually, if you say it now tomorrow, if you got an offer, said a tour was coming up, and say it was going to cost 3 grand to buy into, and you'd be on the tour bus and for 2 weeks playing around Europe or whatever, would you take it?
Yeah, I'd probably a little bit of thinking myself, got a few things I could get rid of to make a bit of money on it, definitely. But what is it going to come up again? Is that opportunity going to ever come up again,
Oh, it always exists.
Things like that. Yeah.
What was the question again? Sorry.
Saying would you say if the opportunity to buy onto a big tour, so for like 3 grand or something came along, would you take? I'd like to say in the world where you had the money, would you take it or would you not take it?
If you had the money.
Yeah.
Like, do you mean like if I won the lotto or if I saved up though?
No, just in the sense that you had 3 grand between the whole lot of you, 4 or 5 members, and you put it all together, and would you go out on that tour?
To open for like Trivium or something?
Could be anyone.
Is that the done thing?
That's usually the case. That's why you Fergal Holmes was on the Metal Cell podcast, and he was very honest and frank about the whole situation. He would love to book more Irish bands, but tour packages always come in. The headline band will organise the dates, and then in a lot of regards, bands will buy onto the tour. That's how the machine kind of rolls along.
All right.
That's how back in the day when you had the Triviums and the Shadows Falls and the Chimeras and all the rest, They obviously had label support, but they'd be buying onto tours and getting going that way.
I'd probably have to have a think about it, to be honest, because I'd probably have to do a bit of research. But like, I mean, if Trivium are onto you, you're not going to ignore the email. So put it that way, you know.
Oh, Trivium wouldn't be emailing you. You'd be fucking begging them over a people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I misinterpreted the question. That's all. Yeah. But,
we're not paying Fantasy fucking Gig Fest. Fantasy Gig Simulator here like it's the rock and roll business.
Yeah. Maybe one day if it was feasible, who knows, you know.
Like even if the opportunity arose and you could only do it once and you got out with a big band, it'd be, you know, you get the moments, and even if the band never went anywhere else, you could always say, well, I played to a fucking Pack Brixton Academy and whatnot, you know.
Well, like if we had the money if we had the money handy, I guess why not, you know. I mean, you know, don't take too seriously.
You're only young lads yet. There's plenty of time yet. Like you're getting ready for a new beginning again now. Like Mark has only recently joined the band, and so you're just getting geared up for the new year. Like never mind buying onto tours, just get back up and running with the EP or whatever album or whatever you do. Like
just get the record out, you know. Yeah, should be good. But yeah, I mean, I'd put on Trivium though. If no, I mean in a gig simulator world. In a gig simulator world, I would put on Trivium. Like if I was in touch with their booking agent and they're like, yeah, they cost this much money, I'd be like, okay, let's see what we can do. Why not? But that's in the gig simulator language. So yeah.
Yeah, 10, 15 grand up front, like, you know, it's if you're lucky.
Yeah, it's a pretty penny. It's a pretty penny, yeah. Hopefully one day, fingers crossed, you know.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Yeah, I ran a few high-end gigs in the past, and it's a great when you get them in and it works, like.
Yeah, sure. I can imagine, yeah.
Sure, if you see Trivium in the pub, Mark, just buy him a pint, you know. You never know. Just be like, listen, give us a shot. And if they say no, just be like, why not? I'm only joking, don't worry. I'm only joking.
It's that easy, yeah.
Look at that. It's going to be, as I said earlier, it's a time for Irish music to try and rise at the minute. Like I have the two of them, like, but the All Ireland Metal Project, you know, like that was amazing. Like that's the second one. I have the other one there as well. I just can't reach it, but you know, the community is there, and it's going to kick on again. And with yourself now, Mikey, putting on gigs and stuff starting again next month, and if you've got a few months there and just get a roll with it and just get up in people's faces and just say, look, there's Irish bands playing here, and you know, I'll help you out as well. I'll try and give you a dig out in the Burning Metal side as well too and whatnot, and just try and
appreciate it. Yeah. No, I saw that over the years. You gave some press. You gave, how do I say it? You raised awareness about like the Forsaken video and stuff like that. And I remember that at the time. I was like, I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? So it's really sound of you, man. Thank you very much.
Oh, no bother, because one thing I wanted to chat to you about, I'll do it on camera. Myself and another lad, we've got a plan for the whole Burning Metal thing this year, and we won't be there all the time because I'm a carer and he's got his all stuff going on. But every now and again, we wouldn't mind taking a tip up to one of your shows and doing photography and video and interviews and stuff, and try and give it a bit more help on our end. You know, the bands of videos and interviews and photos and stuff. You know, it might be helpful to try and get it out a bit further. You know.
Yeah, why not? You know, it'd be good crack. Do you know what I mean? Go for a few points afterwards, you know.
Oh, yeah, sure. I got one thing I done a lot of practicing over the lockdowns is photography, and I wouldn't say I'm a good photographer, but I'm not shit, like, so it's helpful, like, you know.
Yeah, of course, just keep it up, you know what I mean? Why not? I'm actually a little bit of a photographer myself, but like, I wouldn't buy a camera personally, because like I want to try like zone in on what I'm really good at and kind of expand on that, you know what I mean? So for example, although I'm a vocalist and I'm a promoter, And although I know the basics of like sound engineering, I wouldn't become a sound engineer personally because you have to stick with what you know to a degree. So like you probably know a lot about photography, for example, whereas like I just know the basics, you know what I mean?
On basic.
Yeah, but stuff like that.
The camera is you can either take a fucking picture or you can't. That's basically it at the end of the day. Like
Yeah, of course, yeah.
that's the way that's photography, man, in a nutshell. You can have the best camera in the world, but if you haven't got an eye for it, it's a waste of time. Like
This is true, yeah. Like there I guess it kind of applies to my skills in general, like you know what I mean, like you can have the best equipment in the world, but if you don't know how to use it, then what's the point, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
yeah, but things like that, you might as well do it for the fucking crack, like especially in Ireland. Like if you're involved in Irish music or be it photography or filmmaking or anything, unless you're doing it for the crack, you might as well get out of it because you could get lucky and it could go somewhere. But if you're going in thinking you're going to make it big from the start, like you're going to be possibly setting up for a severe fall, which I know all about personally. So
this is
the wrong way to think about it.
Is the audio okay on my end? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Like
it's frozen.
Not now, anyway. Not now.
He's had trouble with the laptop all evening. I'm sure I'll just pause it there for a second, see if it come back up.
This meeting is being recorded.
We're back, anyway, with a bit of an issue there with the old fourth dimension
technical
world.
difficulties. Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries, man. Sure, we're going to wrap. I was just getting to wrap it up anyway, so we're going to play a bit of Eye for an Eye before we wrap her up. All right.
Awesome. Sounds good.
All right, here we go. we go. Like fucking. One thing I want to make it quite obvious for people that don't know that Mikey, you do all the vocals, yeah? Mikey, you're muted.
It's muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was trying to make sure it interrupts the song. No, I do all the vocals. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, man. You've got a really good range there from all out heavy to melodic. Like, it's not easy done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, thanks very much. I guess it just goes back to my influences growing up. So obviously I like a lot of melodic stuff. So like in the metalcore genre. So like the clean vocals might be a bit inspired by bands like Asking Alexandria and stuff like that. And then the heavy vocals might sound a bit more like Killswitch Engage or the Black Dahlia Murder or Bring Me the Horizon or stuff like that. So there's a lot of influences going on. Just keeping it fresh, just going for it,
Yeah,
Thanks very much.
I want to put that the whole song in because with the promotion thing as well, if any band is looking at it and they're thinking, am I maybe not heavy enough because I'm in a metalcore band, which can be a mindset for some bands. They might think, oh, I can't go to this promoter because they booked the doom metal show or a black metal show. Will they have anything to do with me? Like, so it's important that the opportunity lies with you and OD Promotions. If you are in a band like that, that's very important to clarify as well. And I find it in most cases, unfortunately.
I hear something in the background.
The fucking ice cream van.
The
The ice cream van.
Yeah,
Yes, he is back. The infamous
Yeah.
the ice cream van is back at 8:30.
No, but,
27 even.
to reiterate on what you're saying, you're basically saying, so like you're pretty much saying if there's someone watching the interview / podcast, and they want to feel like they can reach out to a promoter with ease, you want them to feel like that. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm happy to.
Especially on your own behalf.
Yeah, like I'm happy to promote bands, big or small. I've booked bands way bigger than my own bands, like Agnostic Front. I Set My Friends on Fire, stuff like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just a gig. Not saying that by the way. It's just like a gig is a gig to me. So like, if you want to work something out, get in touch with OD Promotions.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, lads, cheers for coming on. We had a few technical issues tonight. You might need to get a new laptop, I think, Mikey.
I agree on that one. Yeah.
I had to splash out and the 400 quid and get a new one myself. I had the old Windows 7 had just I had to kick the bucket. I got a lot of years out of it though.
Yeah, some technical difficulties tonight, but we got there in the end.
Exactly. It's like we were saying earlier about the gig going wrong and everything going wrong. It's part of the rock and roll business, man. You got to roll with the blows and keep going no matter what, don't you?
This is it. Yeah, that's the swear. All right, it's been a good one. All right. Cheers, man.
That's why I'm still here 10 years later.
All right.
Lads, it's been great to chat to you. 100%. Thanks very much for coming on.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Matt. Nice.
Bye.